A very good morning and welcome to this edition of Aaj Savere. And today morning we have a very special guest, a renowned educationist of our country, a person who has been rather showered with awards and recognition not only in the country but in the entire globe. Please welcome Dr. S.B. Mazumdar, Founder, Director and President of Symbiosis. Dr. Mazumdar, a warm welcome to Aaj Savere.
Thank you, sir.
So let's start off with the journey of Symbiosis. Symbiosis today is such a big institution, not only in the country but in the entire Asian region. Tell us about the journey.
I was professor and head of botany department at the Ferguson College. I was staying in one of the bungalows on the campus and also working as a rector of one of the Jains hostel blocks of Ferguson College. It was in 1979, during Diwali vacation, an incident happened which gave turn to my life. Let me narrate that incident. One day afternoon, I saw a girl in skirt giving something to her boyfriend through the window of the hostel room.
Okay.
I saw it once, twice, 3 consecutive days. I thought some affair was going on. I went into the hostel, knocked the door of the room, and I saw a foreign student lying on the bed. He was from Mauritius. His name was, I still remember, Sakharam. He was suffering from jaundice. He was unable to walk even few steps. All boys in the hostel had gone to their respective homes. Mess was closed. And when I asked him what was the affair going on, he told me that his sister, who was staying outside, used to prepare food for him and pass it on through the windows.
Very emotional thing.
Because girls were not allowed to enter into the boys' hostel. He put his head on my shoulder and profusely started weeping. Believe me, the tears of a foreign student was a turning point in my life. And then I felt ashamed of myself. As a rector, I should have noticed this before. And then I started collecting information about foreign students then studying in Pune, colleges, institutions. And to the utter surprise, I found that in 1979, there were over 1,000 foreign students studying in different colleges and institutions in Pune. They were mostly from Afro-Asian countries, like Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Thailand, Mauritius, Vietnam, and so many such countries. Then I started interviewing a representative student from each country. And believe me, I realized then that Afro-Asian students staying in Pune and studying in colleges and institutions in Pune felt that whereas Pune citizens threw red carpets to students coming from America, United Kingdom, West Germany, France. Puneites were not only neglecting them, but they were discriminating them. By and large, this was the general impression about Pune. And as I started collecting information about past and present students, I realized that it is these students, foreign students, who after completion of their higher studies, when they go back to their home country, will occupy important positions.
Okay.
Some may become ministers.
That's true.
Some may become top government officers. Some may become industrialists. Some may become professors.
And they have a very peculiar kind of
I asked the question to myself, what will be their attitude then
towards India?
Towards India. So I thought that I must do something. But something means what? But I do believe when you are restless, a creativity knocks your door. So one fine morning I thought that why not start a small organization for the welfare of foreign students in Pune.
Okay.
Then I tried to realize what were the difficulties faced by foreign students. First difficulty was admissions to the colleges, accommodation in the hostels,
That's true.
food and homesickness. These were the four important problems. And then I realized that most of the Afro-Asian students used to visit Pune to study undergraduate courses. So comparatively there were young students.
But sir, setting up an organization, and that too of the size of Symbiosis, is a really tough challenge. You have to take so many regulatory clearances. How easy or difficult was it?
Please remember, that time it was not in my mind to establish educational institution.
Okay.
I started Symbiosis as a small Symbiosis International Cultural Center,
Okay.
which will solve the problems of foreign students. We will give them counseling, we will conduct orientation courses for them so that they will know Pune city, its history, its culture, do's and don'ts in Pune. But in those days my main aim was to develop friendship between foreign and Indian students,
Okay.
to develop a sense of brotherhood between foreign and Indian students.
That's true.
And in the initial stages, we used to conduct social and cultural get-togethers. We used to celebrate Diwali, Bhaubij, Raksha Bandhan, then Christmas, Eid. But these efforts to bring foreign and Indian students together on one platform were found to be very patchy efforts.
Okay.
So little later I thought that education is perhaps the best medium to promote international understanding and friendship between foreign and Indian students. We started with a beautiful motto, and that was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I realized that people all over the world are same. The whole world is one family, and this great concept was enunciated in Upanishads. So we established Symbiosis, but mind you, even for many days and months, it was not our intention to start educational institutions.
Okay.
It was only when we realized that education is likely to promote our original aims and objectives of creating international understanding between foreign and Indian students that I started Law College, then Management Institute and others. But please remember that for the first time as a professor, I realized a new role for higher education.
So you have been associated with education for the past so many decades, and especially higher education, where we talk about medical colleges, engineering, management and all. You've seen it all. How has higher education in our country changed over the past, say, 3 or 4 decades?
Today if you see the general information and scenario of higher education, you will find that there are about 600 universities in India.
Okay.
Over 20,000 colleges, then over 5 lakh professors teaching in colleges and universities, and crore plus students in higher education. But do you know the interesting aspect of it? Out of 1 crore students in higher education, nearly 80 lakh students are studying conventional courses like arts, commerce, and sometimes science. And these 80 lakh students remain unemployed. Out of 80 lakh students, hardly 2 lakh to 3 lakh students get jobs. And only 20 lakh students are in professional educational courses such as engineering, medicine, management, law, etc. Now, these 20 lakh students minus 2-3 lakhs who get the job, they keep on adding to the pool of unemployed graduates.
That's true.
Why? Because these students are unemployable and therefore they become unemployed. And why are they unemployable? Because our college education has failed.
That's true.
Unfortunately, it has failed to make them employable.
So you feel that there should be more and more of professional courses and job-oriented courses?
So my point is, whether you are doing science or arts or commerce, whatever, what India needs today is skill development courses. My submission is, you may be BA, you may be BCom, you may be BSc or MA, MCom or MSc. At the end of the course, every student studying in our universities and colleges and institutions should acquire at least 2 to 3 skills.
That's true.
Because in India there is an interesting paradox. On the one hand, there are no jobs for men and women. And on the other hand, there are no men and women who are ready to do good jobs.
That's true.
So, it's a very interesting paradox. The reason is, we need large pool of skilled manpower.
That's right.
And that skilled manpower is going to be an asset. Now, very often we feel that our India has 3 advantages. What are they?
A young
Diversity.
population?
A
young population is...
That is diversity, demography. We call it demographic dividend.
That's true.
So, along with diversity and demography we are really proud of, because we say that a day will come when there will be, our country will be the youngest in the world. True. But this large population of young India, below 25, below 30, these young human beings are likely to be human resource, provided
they are nurtured.
They have skills.
That's true.
If they don't have skills, then these very students, these very youth will be a liability.
Right. Dr. Mazumdar, it's time to take a very short break, but when we come back from the break, we'll talk about your childhood memories and your schooling and college and also your personal life. Well, time for a quick break now.